Well, welcome to the Mexican Center for Culture and Cinematic Arts. My name is Cynthia Prida. I'm in charge of cultural affairs here at the consulate, and we are very happy to have another session of Actor Slash, or this is slashers, Actor Slash.
Actor Slash, but they are slashers.
They are slashers.
Yes.
So as every month, Vange is bringing us a wonderful group of people who are in the entertainment industry, and we are so proud that in this occasion she decided to dedicate it to women who are mothers and are also in the entertainment industry. It's really nice and warm to see some of the talent today being here with their children, and that tells a lot. Congratulations to all of you. This Sunday it's going to be Mother's Day, and I know many people started to have parties since today, so maybe some of them will be able to see this session recorded, and that will be very nice. So to start, I just want to take this opportunity to invite everybody to go to our web page to check the open call that we have for women, Mexican American, and Chicanas who are in the entertainment industry. We're trying to create the first registry of Mexican women in Los Angeles who are working in the entertainment industry. And the reason is because there is an underrepresentation of Latino women in the film industry in general, and also because we know that there are many talent women who, to advance their career, can make the most of getting in contact with some other women. So if you know someone or if yourselves can benefit from this, go to our webpage and register there, and there is a whole explanation of how this will work.
You want to call the name?
Matria, yes, you need, thank you. You need to check the tab that says Matria. We decided to call it Matria because in Spanish, patria refers to the country where you are born, but this initiative is same to women, so instead of patria, it's Matria. And I hope you'll get to tell other people who can benefit from it. So to start, thank you so very much, Blanca. She's a great friend of the consulate. Thank you for making this event. Thank you for all the events. It's wonderful to have you here every month thinking about how to support not only women, everybody who is in the entertainment industry. You are a wonderful liaison, and we appreciate very much the work that you do for all of us. So the floor is yours. You're going to introduce us, your wonderful women.
Thank you. Today we're going to start a little backwards. Before I introduce my panelists, we're going to watch a quick video, a little reel of all my panelists so we can learn about them. And as the Consul Prida said, my name is Vange Tapia. And I'm very thankful and grateful that my consulate, your consulate, the Mexican Consulate, opened its doors to anyone who has a proposal to encourage one another and to promote our work and support us. So I encourage you guys to visit the website, and if you have something interesting to show, or you would like the consulate to probably showcase it here in the movie theater or maybe an exhibition or whatever, just contact our consul or contact whatever the department you're interested in, and I'm pretty sure they will support you. So just visit consulmexland.com or cccmla.com. And again, we're going to watch this video real quick, Jorge, if you want to show it to us. And we'll be back for those who are watching on Facebook and Instagram, or Instagram, Facebook, whatever it was. We'll be back in a moment.
just when she broke up with her husband.
I told her that. Remember Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah. Oh, you should watch out for Mike and me.
Okay, Alicia. Now, hands up.
I don't know. No promises.
Alicia, stay away, you whore.
I don't charge.
Hi, Alicia.
Hi, Mikey.
Mikey, no, look away. Eyes up here. Stay away. No.
What about some salsa, Mikey?
Don't look at those hips, Mikey. These are the hips.
Why, Mikey? It's gonna be wild.
No. Esa es la mamá del bebé de mí, pórtate bien.
Es mi casa. Hago lo que yo quiero.
Hi, I'm Becky. We know. Come in. Oh. She looks just like Emilio.
So skinny. Where's the rest of the baby?
Actually, Beverly Rose is a very healthy baby.
No. This is a healthy baby. Gordito. 100% tile. Con el alambre vino el hambre. How long have you been a journalist?
Years. I wrote for El Progreso, but then returned to La Crónica after my father passed away. He owned the newspaper, so I took it over.
A hard worker, like Mike Thomas. He was. How about your age?
Señora Dominguez, I can return tomorrow. It's okay. I can write the article another day.
No, estoy bien. This is important.
No voy a casar, mamá.
No digas eso.
No me voy a casar, lo sabes bien.
Basta.
¿Basta qué?
Ay, chicas, cuidado,
No
¿ah?
más enfrente de Daniela. No quiero que le enseñes tus cosas.
No, mejor protégela de todo el mundo.
No necesito que nadie me proteja.
Le dices florecita a tu vagina.
Imagina.
Pues así se llama, en mi opinión. Tienes un problema. Quisiera que fueras a la iglesia y le platiques al padre sobre eso.
Pero eso sí, cuando yo pago por cosas de la casa no te quejas de mi problema.
Hey, maybe we could go, like, get some ice cream or something. That's
We can't. Because I date women. I'm an embarrassment to the family.
Vete de aquí.
Con mucho gusto.
Buddies, I requested to follow you on Instagram. Did you see it? And those ladies, they've spent all day breeding people to filth.
¿Le viste el grano ese urge asiático?
Yeah, don't mess with them. We call them
Hey, I should have talked it over with him before going through it. I'm sorry. This is supposed to be something for my whole team. I mean, it's something for you, obviously, and something for me, too. I've never been in charge of my own thing before, and I thought, look, I didn't go to business school or anything, but I know I could have pulled this off. I know it, man. I'll think of some other way, don't worry. Thanks for the talk. All right. So good.
I was 17. My mom got sick a few years after, and I had to go back to get you. The people that got us through charged me $30,000.
Are you trying to guilt trip me? It's a small price to pay for your child.
You're not my child. I know. You're my brother.
Bueno, aparentemente ya sabe quién soy yo. Sabe que Sofía no es mi hija. Sabe de Luis. Y sabe que cualquier cosa que yo le diga aquí puede poner en peligro mi vida y la vida de Sofía.
Fine. You don't answer, you don't leave. I'm gonna call the police right now. Go ahead. Hey, where's my couch? I threw it away. In my bookcase? How long have you been here? Listen, you can try to kill me if you want to. I don't care, but you need to get your ass out of here.
Me costaba trabajo sonreír. Y fue cuando me dijiste, Sonríe, mamá. Yo prometí que nunca iba a permitir que nos separaran.
I think it's a little bit too late for that, don't you think?
It's never too late.
You know, when I look at those fashion shows, I think to myself, I could do this. But my life just didn't turn out that way.
Gonzalez, I can't keep this. It wouldn't be right.
You introduced a well-mannered, smart, young man to a life of crime. And now he's dead. Don't talk to me about right and wrong.
I promised him that I will deliver it to you if something happens.
I told you I don't want it.
Miss Gonzalez, there's over $1,000 in this bag.
Get out of here before I call the police.
Yeah!
What's this? You robbing me? You a cop?
No, I'm not a cop.
So I take it I didn't pick you up with my smooth banter.
No, you did not. Annie Garcia. You could try, but you'll only make what's going to happen more painfully.
This is me. I took 10 years off to raise my daughter, and now my mom has health issues, and I just moved back home with her because I couldn't make my rent. Oh, and trying to revive my acting career, which is currently non-existent.
I know you love acting and you've been up really late practicing. You need to take care of you first.
Well, I don't expect a surprise.
I know, I'm sorry. I just really needed to see you. Nick, can we keep this just between us?
Of course.
Something's happening to Richard, and it's scaring me.
We both know Richard has his demons, but I've known that man for 20 years. He always gets back on his feet. Trust me.
He's becoming more and more paranoid, and he's getting these obsessions, and I don't know. You've known him longer than I have. Is there something I'm supposed to do?
I'm sorry to break it to you, Haley, but that's just the way writers are. Imagination, powerful thing.
Nick, I'm starting to lose hope here. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Richard with all of my heart, but none of things don't get better. I feel like I don't even know how to be nice to him anymore.
I don't know anything. Just because I've worked for him for 7 years doesn't mean I have access to his personal emails.
How many times did the governor see Matthew Everts at his house on the Gold Coast since June of this year?
Those guys they've known each other since high school. They're practically neighbors. I don't know how many times he sees him.
But we don't want you. I told you this before. We want the governor.
How do you feel you're going to tell the governor?
Because we have all the evidence. But it points to you.
Beast with them that made you break this enterprise to me. When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more than man. Nor time, nor place defended here, and yet you would make them both. They have made themselves, and yet their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me.
One of my girlfriends, one of my little white girlfriends, she went out on a date with a guy I was dating. She straight up and said, yeah, what a bitch. I was like, why would you do that? And she said, it's something I felt like I needed to do. I was like, I'm from the south side of Chicago. I'm supposed to cut you.
You said I did so good, and you said I was perfect.
We're not
and
even
then
together anymore. We were made for each other. I knew he was a player. I just thought he was not playing.
on social media. Once again, I'm Blanca Tapia. I'm an actor slash producer, and I'm the founder of Actor Slash. And we are at the Mexican Consulate, about to start this amazing event called Working Moms in Entertainment. So I'm going to start right now, introduce them one by one. I'm going to go with ABC, so no hard feelings here. I'm going to start with Blanca. Blanca, querida Blanca Araceli, thank you so much for being here from Mexico. Look at this beauty woman. I mean, who else can be be representing our traditions better than her? Nobody. Great. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Please take a seat. Any seat. She's a loyal supporter, and we're going to be talking about with all of them in a moment. Okay. Who's next on that? In the ABC? No. Nathalia? Yes. Nathalia from Colombia. Thank you so much for being here. Finally, I get to have her, and I'm very happy that you're here. I'm very happy. So thank you for the invite. Any spot except that one in the corner. that one is mine. Sandi. Sandi from Australia. Thank you so much for coming.
Yes, thank you.
Sandi Roberts. Very interesting people. This is getting even better. And now we're gonna close the cherry of the tradition. Shannon. We're just wondering, like, should I take her away from her daughter? Shannon Bobo. Thank you so much for being here from the U.S. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Please. So we're going to start right now. Anything? Oh yeah, the mics. Of course, that will help. Thank you. You ladies going to be sharing this mic.
Thank you.
And Jorge, do you think we can turn off the air down a little bit? Thank you. Because the penguins are going to get into here. Is it working? 1, 2. Yeah, perfect. So just make sure you keep the mic close to you, okay? So before we start again, how many moms do we have here in the audience? Yesterday, Feliz Dia de las Madres. Yesterday was Mother's Day in Mexico, and I'm sure in other countries. And this coming Sunday is going to be a celebration in the U.S. So congratulations to all of you mamazotas y mamacitas, and even the ones that don't have any kids, even Mother Earth, all the mothers, la Sierra Madre as well, all of them, and the pets, yeah.
First count.
Thank you so much for being here. How are you ladies? I'm very excited that you're here, that I was able to put this group here together. Did you celebrate, do they celebrate Mother's Day in Colombia?
Sunday.
Oh,
so that's it.
Like,
yeah, so Sunday
so
will be my celebration.
Okay, I'm going to be moving a little.
You celebrated this week, right?
Yeah. You did. It was
for us, actually,
it was Wednesday.
Mayo 10.
I'm sorry, the 10th. I was like thinking that it was yesterday. No, it was the 10th.
We celebrated, and most of our friends, family, sent us messages, wishes, and everything. And the first thing I received was a beautiful, nice, warm hug from my husband and my son.
Oh,
it was beautiful.
So you have to celebrate twice.
Twice.
Because you're going to celebrate on Sunday as well. How is it in Australia?
I'm pretty sure it's this Sunday.
On Sunday as well,
I think
right?
It's second Sunday of the month in May. But my kids are here, so.
Right, and they were born here, right?
They were both born in California.
Yeah. And Shannon, what are your plans for Sunday?
Oh, so I have a friend with means, so she invited us to her country club. I was like, girl, yes. Some champagne and some people watching the babies. I'm like, yes, sign me up.
That is amazing. And now, you are the only one who's like newly mom with a 16-month baby girl who is right here, who's adorable, and she's just like, wow, look at her mom. And but you ladies, you have already, teenagers, and then you have two, like 6, 10 or something. How old are your kids, Sandi?
12 and 10.
12
and 11, sorry.
Something like that, right? I remember. And last time I saw yours, Blanca, now I think he's like, what happened? He grew up super fast. I'm like, wait a minute, you were just a kid the other day.
Yeah, he's 6'5". He's 6'5", 19 years old, and now he's studying for civil engineer, and I'm so happy for him because I think one of the things he decided to stay at home, you know, for the next 2 years, going to East LA College, and then he's going to transfer to university. I told him I already packed my backpack to go with him. He's like, no, Mama, no puedes venir conmigo.
No, you can't. He's so serious. Like, Mom, let me go. Mom, let go, please. And we got your son right here.
Oh, my son is here. He's not going to like to be on the spot, but he is here. Where's Waldo?
Where's Waldo? Oh, really? Like that?
He's right there.
But that's very cool that he's here supporting you. And I have a question for you, ladies. Speaking about support and being a mom, 3 of you are still married and you have the support of your husbands. How was it? And this goes for you too, Nathalia. How was it being a mom and working in the entertainment industry, pretty much in any industry? But like, did you have to pause for a long time before going back to work to take care of your kids, so you were able to get the support of your partner? Or how was it? Like in your case, Nathalia, you're no longer married, but like, how was having a kid for you and working?
Nice. I brought him along the whole time. I mean, the poor kid just...
Single mom?
Yes. No, not single mom. Actually,
single
no,
mom.
we worked together until Danny was like 8 years old. And we're still together, not together, meaning we're really good friends and we get along great and we collaborate with each other. Not married, but... So yeah, the poor kid did not have a very, like a lot of structure in terms of like bedtime and all those things that moms talk about these days. Like I was just brand new in the country and having like these really weird shifts and always working in recording studios. So we would have a 5 p.m. start time to our sessions till 1 a.m. So I would carry him along. And it was fun. So hence he's the great engineer and musician and actor that he is today, because he saw it firsthand. So it was hard. It was really hard. Not only, well, I was with him back then, but we had no family around. We had nobody. I had no friends.
So your partner at the time?
Yeah, he was my husband. Yeah.
Your husband at the time. You both moved from Colombia to the country.
Yeah.
Your
When I was
kid
3 months pregnant.
Uh-huh.
So I moved here, no family, no friends. I had no support system, no community really. So I, by the way, I'm still receiving gifts, but no baby shower. No, I'm so jealous when I hear those stories. I'm like, baby shower. The best way I can do is to live vicariously through my friends. So I go there and support, but I never was a part of that on the receiving end. But it's good. It is what it is. And it makes my life and my story the way it is, and I love it the way it is.
Yeah, that is very cool, but we will make a baby shower.
Yeah.
You'll see. How old is your son?
He's old.
He's 30. No, that's what I was just telling her. I thought it was like an 8-year-old or something.
Yeah.
So it was like probably
I had him when I was 18.
I was like, that was a first communion, a wedding, a baptism, everything together on the package, because she's so young. Yeah, like she just looks so young. I really thought it was like, if I can make a quick commercial, congratulations to Pablo Azar and Ana. They just had a baby, who is another slasher who's been here, my panelist, and they just had a baby and she just became a mom. So that's great. In another commercial, Tanya Mordachi, it's her birthday. So happy birthday if you're listening to this already messages. But yeah, we owe you a baby shower, so we'll do something. You'll see. And Blanca, how was for you? How long have you been in the U.S.? And how was for you having a kid and working? I mean, because you collaborate a lot, like almost everything with your husband on your own productions, as an actress as well. I mean, voiceover and things like that is separate. But like for theater and performance, like live, it's mostly with your husband. How did that work?
I was very blessed to find him, because we've been together for 24 years. I've been in this country for 34 years. And when we met, and I found out that he was a folclorista too. He used to dance folklore, of course, with a different line. I was with María Hernández with Ballet Folclórico de Mexico, and he was with Ballet Folclórico de Silvia Lozano, so more traditional. So at the beginning it was like, right? Adjusting. right? But and at the same time, we were very passionate to create programs for the community and to create the summer camp, you know, for children, everything in Spanish. Everything that we do is to promote Spanish, but with the intention to connect generations, the intention to connect the grandmas and grandpas, you know, with their new generation, the kids. You know, if we do programs for them in Spanish, they'll bring, llévame, I want to see that play. So they come and join us, and it's so cool. And my son, of course, you know, just like her, you know, they have to adjust to our schedule. Yeah. You know, he was always running in our rehearsals, even though we were doing plays. He will stop and say, "Come on, guys, get it ready, get it right. We gotta go home." He was so wonderful. But you know, it's not regular schedule.
Yeah, I remember when I met you guys with Dama de Baño de Mujeres.
Baño de Damas.
That's when I met you, and I saw your son like helping moving things like that. I was like, who's this little tiny director here? He's just like, he knows everything. He knows his thing.
Yes. So, and then all the programs that we have done in the last, because we founded Tierra Blanca in 2002. So it's been 21 years. And all the programs, you know, of course, you know, después metimos el gol, you know, so we had our baby. I was 40, so when I had him, I really thought it's a blessing from God. That's why we call him Victor Angel. Because the nurse came in and she said, "What's the name?" And we were like, pues, we didn't even think about it. And we just, and all of a sudden he said, "Pues es una victoria tener un angelito." Dije, "Oh, ahí está, Victor Angel." So that's what we call it, Victor Angel. But, you know, it's I cannot say that it's hard, because I'm sure for moms that works in factory, moms that works in restaurants. I used to be in the restaurant industry for 20 years representing workers. I have to go 2 o'clock in the morning to organize workers. And of course, you know, we switch shifts. You know, he was working a lot in the industry. He's someone who worked in the industry for almost 35 years, 40 years. And he was working for Brothers and Sisters, for, you know, all these great shows. But our schedules were, you know, we have to combine, right, and make sure. And we were blessed because just like you, we didn't have anyone. So we got very blessed to find amazing señora, la señora que nos ayudó, Becky, perdón. She was so amazing, because I said, "Becky, I have to work at, you know, got to start 5 o'clock in the morning. Tráigamelo." "My God, we're gonna stay in set until, you know, 12 midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning." "No se preocupe, déjelo dormir aquí. I'll take it tomorrow." You know, it was so nice to find someone. And I always say,
you actually spend the night at Today's, who was taking care.
If I couldn't go pick them up earlier. Yeah, and so I think for those of you who has abuelitas y abuelitos, que les ayuden, primas, sobrinas, aprecienlos, quiéranlos y díganles thank you, because it's so hard to find someone that you can trust to be your kid, you know. So ya no quiero agarrar más esto, pero de verdad, gracias abuelitas, abuelitos y toda esa gente maravillosa que nos ayuda a cuidar a nuestros niños, a que salgan adelante y a ser los buenos seres humanos.
Did you ladies understand? You heard the gracias in the back. Sandi, how about for you?
For me, I actually don't have any family in Australia. Sorry, we're in America.
In the US, you don't have anyone in the US, but in Australia.
I don't. I have, like you mentioned before, I have 2 children, 12 and 11. Actually founded a video game company in 2012 with 2 children under the age of 2. So that was really difficult. But we actually have amazing support from a Mexican family. And to celebrate, because I've been with my husband almost 20 years, and we've had the same housekeeper / nanny for 20 years.
Oh, that's a blessing.
And it was their 20th. They'd just gotten together. It's a couple, husband and wife. And we took them to Quick Smile this February, just gone, which is in Jalisco.
Oh, yeah.
It's right on the southern tip of... Oh, really? Yeah. So we took them to Jalisco and had a really nice suite for them. I took them with my kids. And they loved it. It was fabulous. The kids speak a little bit of Spanish, but...
Oh, that's amazing. That's great.
So them and my husband, because we're in the industry together, he's been supportive. My daughter has become an actress, the 12-year-old.
She was on the TV show for 4 years.
That's what I read. In HBO, she's a series regular, right?
She's a series regular, yes. So, Doom Patrol.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's quite the juggling when you have a whole family that is in the industry.
Yeah, they inherited from you the talent.
But she really does support me too. And the short film that I did, that I wrote and produced and did everything just for the experience, she's in. So that's actually her talking.
I'm going to ask about that because I saw it. I was like, I have the impression that it has something to do with you or something.
Yeah, so it's actually nice to have my daughter acting. It's a very unusual, I think, form of support, but it feels really good to be seen by someone who's so close to you, I think.
Well, I'm going to have to bring you back another time so we can screen the short film.
Yeah,
definitely. There's a moment we do that. How about for you, Shannon? Like, it's this adorable cutie girl that has us all fascinated.
Yeah.
Just you dress her up so adorable.
Oh, thank you. We don't have family in LA or in the States.
Where are you guys from?
I'm from Chicago originally, and my husband's from Australia. So
Turned out to be from
beautiful
Adelaide,
connection,
right?
And so we didn't have any family here to support. She's 18 months now, and so it's just been kind of us solo, and we kind of do-si-do with her because my husband's a filmmaker, and so we just kind of, she's on my lap when I'm working, and then sometimes he'll take her out, and it was just, last year was my first gig back was, well, first of all, I cast a commercial while I was like more than 40 weeks pregnant with her. I don't know why I did that. I was like, I can go into labor any day. And then I finally...
They wanted a pregnant woman, I know that.
Well, like I did the casting for it. And so
because you're
I actually
I'm
a casting director. That was one of my slashes. And then I remember when but I didn't give birth then. So I was 10 days overdue. And then another producer called me and asked me to cast a commercial, and I was like, well, shoot. I was like, well, I might go in labor while I'm having her. And so he's just like, oh, no, focus on the baby. But when you're a casting director, it's worse than acting, actually, because you're literally freelance. Like, you literally have to go and get your own director. And for double-digit years, I worked for other people as the casting assistant or associate. So my case is kind of unique because I have to go out and seek my own clients. So you don't want to lose them. So it took me a little minute to get back into gear. So I didn't work again until she was about 6 months. But that was my biggest casting yet because babies they come with their loads. And so I did Disney Launchpad series. I cast 2 of the shorts for that. And it was so exciting, but it was so hard because it was just me and my husband. We're on artist budgets, and so we had to, we went through the trenches because here I am casting this big project, my biggest project yet, and my husband who's just kind of like, he's so sweet, but he was just like, oh, what do we do, da 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 da, and I was 100% nursing. I'm still nursing her, so like I'll come and put something online, put a breakdown out, nurse her, and then he'll go back, and it was just insane. But those times were so crazy, but it just helped nurture my casting career. And the reason why I'm a casting director is not only because of, like, just to help support my family, but because I absolutely 100% love helping other performers, other actors. I'm a actor's casting director because I know how it feels, I get it, and I understand. That's why, and that's the reason why I'm respectful. I was here at 4:30. He was like, you're not supposed to be here until 5. I'm like, yeah, but if 5 o'clock is too late, like, that's late to me. Because that's in my casting brain, but then I also, I'm like, as an actor, I just respect it. Anyway, so that's the story of me and all the work.
Your transition.
The breastfeeding and, like, nursing, but the jobs are, like, the casting jobs are few and far between, but because I don't want to steal directors, basically. Because I respect the casting directors I worked for in the past. And they will kill me, and they probably won't bring me in for any other projects. So I'm skating a really fine line. It's different than being a producer actor.
That is true.
Because the casting directors are like, what? I'm not bringing this girl in then again. I'm like, I'll just cast myself, number one. And number two, I'm not going to ever take anything away from anyone. I'm always going to be respectful, and I will find my own directors. And that's what I've been very successful at doing.
That. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, so if I was a casting director, I would be casting you and your adorable daughter. Do you have plans for her? Do you think she would like to be in?
Okay, so she did work, and this is, sorry, SAG, they're going to get mad at me, and I probably shouldn't say, but she's on The Bay. It's a series, it's an Emmy Award-winning series, and she plays Baby Boy Garrett, so she did her first cross-dress role. But she's in the entire 7th season, and it's really cool. She worked when she was, that's why I was like, oh, we're probably going to get in trouble. She was only like 6 days. I found out later that she was supposed to be, I was like, I should have known that, but she's supposed to be 15 days according to, anyway, labor laws. But anyway, whatever. Like, she's already shot it, because her all good. She has her paperwork, she has her Google account, she's good. But my baby is already working, yes.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah. I will probably make like stuffed animals, stickers, pillows, everything to have a piece of that cute thing, the adorable pink little cute in that dress in my room. It's just like I want to squeeze her or something. It's just so cute. So going back into what are your slashers, your slash things? How do you become a casting director or what? I mean, because you're an actress, and Sandi and I were talking about like an actor is also a voiceover talent. She's also into performance caption and capture and many things, voiceover. But then you became casting director, and you're also a healer.
Oh yes.
Slash.
So, yes. Alchemist, all of that. I do all of those things, and I'm like, why choose when you can do all of it? That's my attitude towards it, and I have the time and the energy to do it. It's just something that just comes naturally for me. Now the casting part just kind of landed in my lap because I didn't want to do it, but I was working as an assistant in casting and going to auditions and doing that, and like I'll have a producer or a director say, why can't you cast this project? I'm like, well, I work for such and such. They were like, well, why can't you? Do you know the actor? I said, yeah, I know plenty of actors. So I had a few directors just say, please, I just want to work with you. And I was like, well, how dare I say no to this opportunity?
Right. Exactly.
So I honestly, I do believe that it costs me, I don't get seen as much from casting directors I used to work with. Because but that's okay. They should throw me a bone and like bring me in for auditions because I was working for them. I'm like, you know what? I'm okay with that though. Like, cause again, like I said, I'll just cast myself.
Right. So you can do that. You can do that.
Well, it's worked out a few times where the director, as you can see, I'm very, very transparent. I'm very honest about my life and about my things. So when I'm working with clients, if they ask me if I'm an actor, I say yeah. So I don't try to hide behind, oh, I'm just casting this and da-da-da-da. You know for me for 2 seconds that I'm some sort of a performer. So I can't, like, you know what I mean? I can't make that up.
Right.
And so usually they'll say, actually, I think you'll be right for this role. And I'm like, all right, let's do it then. But, but I never try to take anything away from actors. I would never do that. But if it's something right,
well,
if it's dead smack right for me, it's for you.
Exactly. So you cast commercials?
I've cast commercials.
Series.
I started off as a commercial casting assistant and then associate, and then just started my first actual casting job, and that's when I opened up my company, was in actually 2011. I did my first commercial. That's when I was like so nervous. I was like, all these casting directors are gonna hate me. And I was so scared. I was like, oh my God, they're gonna kill me if they found out. So I went under a pseudonym because I was so scared. And I was like, you know what? I have nothing to lose and everything to gain by just being fully present and fully who I am. Nothing can ever be denied from me. And I haven't worked as much, but I don't care because I know that will come in time. I'm just gonna get, especially because of my race, I'm just gonna get better with time. Because they're always looking for a black grandmother. I'm like, I know from casting that's kind of a lean role, so I can only get better. I'm not worried about aging because I'm like, I'll just age up until the perfect roles for me.
So, Shannon, Bobo, casting,
Yes.
.com.
Yeah.
That's where they can find you.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. It's just like, besides you're beautiful. You're beautiful mom, you have a beautiful daughter who has us all charming. And Andy, Cindy, so your husband, you created this video game company with your husband, and I just went on your Instagram. I went through all of your Instagram accounts to see, okay, I want to see these ladies because they're so interesting. I was already following Blanquita, but I started following you all, and I went way back. Like, Sandi even has pictures with Guillermo del Toro, and some things with, what's the name of the, oh my god, I'm terrible with names, Star Wars. I showed to my Hamill. Yeah. And I showed to my husband. It's like, no way! He's all Star Wars 100%. Like doing all these performance capture. Are you a voiceover talent as well, I suppose? Or
I do a little bit of voiceover, but mainly acting and performance capture. I do have I've written a pilot for a sitcom that's about the video gaming industry. But the timing, because there's Mythic Quest, I actually wrote it a while ago, but then Mythic Quest came out, and so I think there is room for another one, just because the feel and tone of mine is different. It's more about being a fish out of water, because when I first started the video game company with my husband, he's the sort of programming and creative director.
You want to tell them what's the big video game that you have? I was looking on YouTube. Man, you have like a whole community for this particular
Star Citizen is that's in early access. And then we have a single player campaign called Squadron 42 that we're busily working on. We have about 1,000 people in our company. Most of our people are in the United Kingdom. But yes, I did all of the community and marketing, and so I did all of that side.
That got my attention as well, because actor / producer / writer / and then marketing, which is what my husband does, and you like it. You actually.
I do enjoy it. I mean, I really the community.
You pick the marketing instead of hiring an agency, or you're like, I know I can do this.
Yes, because in the beginning we did not have the funds to pay for a marketing campaign. We did interview people, but it was incredibly expensive. And so my husband asked if I could help him. And so I said I would. And so I did all the crowdfunding. We did it on our own platform. So I don't quite know the statistics, but I think we have about 2 million fans at the moment.
I YouTube it and everything. I was like, damn, this is serious. I am so gonna watch the latest game of all these things. This is fantastic. And then you must be doing something great, because I mean it worked, whatever you were advertising or the way you were doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just there weren't any space games about 10 years ago, and my husband had previously made video games, but it just happened to work out, and the kids are part of it as well. So when we were working, because it was fortunately our own company, I would bring the kids to work. I don't think I could have done it any other way. So a lot of the original staff are very used to the children. Yeah, the girls, I would rush to HR sometimes. I'd be like, oh my gosh, can you babysit the girls for just 5 minutes? I gotta take this call. I can't have them in the room while I'm on a call.
That's fantastic. So is your office in the U.S.? I mean, most of the people are in the U.K., but do you have a main studio here as well?
We have about 100 people, I think, in Los Angeles. In our office is opposite Riot Games and Olympic and Bundy. We have a little motion capture area there too. Predominantly we do our marketing and video there, although we just opened where the old Manchester studios. We're renting their area. So they used to film TV shows there, so we have our stuff there now.
That is so cool, and I love that. We had TJ, Storm, and Andy, and like a lot of people into the video game, a lot in Actors Slash already, and it's been like a big crowd, like Comic-Con, and everybody's just there. I love that community, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a fun, it was a real learning curve for me because it's not a community that I knew. I wasn't a huge gamer before I started, but I know my husband really well. We've been together almost 20 years now, so that kind of made it easy to market to gamers because I know my husband.
And
So
where is he from?
He's he was born in Redwood City, but he grew up in the UK, so he's also a British citizen.
Got it.
So that, I think that's why we kind of gravitated towards the UK as well. And his brother is part of the. We're big on nepotism. We think it's a positive thing. The whole family.
I saw that at the very beginning. I think he's your husband. I mean, I think I spotted him already. You were like even hosting something.
Yes,
like
we used to do weekly. I did hundreds of episodes of that. Kind of podcasts to connect to the community because crowdfunding. I don't know if anybody's ever crowdfunded a project, but crowdfunding is. Yeah, it takes a lot of work. It's kind of like a political campaign.
Yeah.
And I think the key to it is the constant engagement, and we do a lot of engagement. And part of it was doing the videos and being very open about video game development. So my husband and I used to get on and we would do kind of inside videos of how you make a video game. So it's very familiar, more so because directors do directors behind the scenes, but not so much in video games. It's a bit more mysterious. How do you make a video game? So we would do that.
A lot of us don't know how to do that, so I'm sure it was very successful and still relevant to how to start and all that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's kind of, yeah. And then our daughters play a lot of video games. They both homeschool. That's another reason we're able to make life work, I think, because of the travel.
Right.
So if they were in a regular school,
it's just
impossible.
You can't, right.
And when my daughter was a series regular in Atlanta, I had to go to Atlanta with her.
And then the other one stay here.
My husband had to look after our younger one, and so that was quite difficult to manage. And then of course I'm auditioning to, I mean it is not for the faint of heart. Let's put it that way.
But that's tough because it's like, okay, I want to support my daughter, but then you're not going to be able to work 100%, maybe in the company, but not as an actor, unless you are part of the project.
Yeah, it was difficult, but just seeing her really light up as an actress, as a mom, that's kind of rewarding. So at the same time it was difficult because you're thinking, oh gosh, I could play that role. When you're seeing her, when you're seeing her, I'm thinking, oh, I could play that role.
Teacher.
I know, but and then of course they can't remember my name. They call me my daughter's name. I'm thinking, oh God, this is so demoralizing. but okay.
Yeah, that's cool. But we're gonna check it out. What's the name of the company again?
Cloud Imperium Games. You mean the gaming company?
Yeah.
It's we're very well known in the gaming industry, I would say, but we're not really a household name or anything just yet because early access is kind of like a house under construction. Some people like a house that's half done. They like to explore and they like to be part of the process of building the house, but other people just want a finished house with all the furniture completely done, which is kind of like what a single-player campaign video game.
But as an actor, we should all learn all those games because you never know when they're going to bring you in for an audition for video games. I've only done 2 in my life, and I had to play them and to try to understand what was the theme. I mean, to voice it. But good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing with performance capture is it's a little bit intimidating, feeling like a penguin. In the beginning, you were just wearing a grey suit with
So fun.
bubbles stuck on you, and your face has got black dots all over it, and there's cameras everywhere, so when you do a take, the camera will take all angles of you. So it's a bit like doing theatre, because they do the one take and it gets you from all the, the medium, the wide, the close-up, the everything all at once. And I think the biggest difference is you do 5 different options. So you play the scene and you play it with a different ending. And then you do the scene again and you play a different ending and a different ending and a different ending. So that's a little bit different from shooting a TV show or a film where you play the scene and that's it. You do another take, you go for your wide, you're ready for your close-up.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's performance capture, but also as a voiceover, because many of the actors also do the voice at the moment and then later on they will voice them, but they have to perform in every different aspect that it is there to do. Blanca, let's go back into, just give me the mic. Let's go back into the company that your husband and you created. You both are dancers, then I can see that. I remember being on Broadway Boulevard, the Broadway event festival that they do in downtown once a year in January, I think it is. And then suddenly I went to one of the theaters and they were just playing and dancing all this music, Mexican folklore, and there you were. And I was like, I didn't know she was a dancer. But you're also not only into theater and into dancing. You were in Coco. You were the MC. For those who don't know what MC means, is Master of Ceremony in Coco, in Disney Coco, who was so well awarded. And you do TV series and commercials, and also you produce. We see you in theater as well. So, how do you find the time to have so many activities at the same time? It's great. And then you also host this Las Madreadas. I love it.
That's our radio talk show.
I love your talk show as well.
Mira, I think it's one of those things that when I came to this country almost 34 years ago, I always said, when I was in Mexico, I belonged to the Socialist Communist Party. Because my thought and my idea was, that to be fair, to have programs for everybody. But of course, once you grow up, you know that's a utopia. Es una utopía. El ser socialista, eso nunca va a pasar. Because always, as a humanity, we always want more, as humans that we are, siempre queremos más. Entonces eso no fue. Pero me sentó las bases. It gave me to realize that the value of the human is what we build, what we have, instead of thinking of, I'm going to purchase an amazing purse, because it's going to give me value. So I think that was one of the things that helped me to, when I came to this country, to see that we have a lot of great programming and television and film and everything, but our communities don't have any contact with culture or arts. And like I said, I work a lot in the southeast area, so we have 11 cities, and there's not even one theater. So that's how much they need, the communities to promote our folk culture, something to give them sense of, identity. And that's why it's one of the reasons that I started dressing. I dress like this ever since I was like teenager. But, my brothers, they used to tell my mom, Mamá la va a dejar ir hacia afuera. You're going to let her go out like that? And my mom would say, a ver, mija, is this what people are wearing? I said, sí. Okay, ándale, pues, que te vaya. So, because I always wanted to give this value to our artisans, la gente que, is that okay if I switch to Spanish? Spanish will get it. Sí, porque me siento más.
But I know what you were saying, that you not only you not only dress Mexican artisans designs, but also like different cultures.
Sí, fíjate que eso fue una cosa que yo cuando llegué a este país dije, como mexicana, ¿dónde están nuestros hermanos salvadoreños, nuestros hermanos cubanos, nicaragüenses, hondureños?
And other Latins.
Yeah, and what I felt it was like these walls that would separate us because we don't go to see, the Cuban festivities or the Peruvian dances. And I said, why don't we create a program that we all get together and we know each other and we can see our differences and appreciate and value the similarities that we have. So that's why we create Semblanza and Ricardo Montalban. I had the honor to talk to him and also to speak with the coordinator of the theater. And they said, why don't you do it here? Bring the communities here, let's get together. So we did Semblanza with 7 countries. And then there were 14, and then there were 21. And then we did Africa and America to include, nuestra tercera raíz y decirle a la comunidad afrodescendiente que nosotros tenemos esa raíz en todo América.
You also have African Mexicans.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, we have the African
Latinos.
Yeah, and we have our first libertador. El primer libertador de América fue en 1619, Gaspar Yanga. So we have it on Veracruz. And then we did a beautiful tribute to all the African descendants. And also we did Asia and America, all the influences that Asia had brought to America. So it was beautiful to see, even people...
When we say America, we mean America, not the U.S.
No.
We made the
América, todo el
continent.
continente, todo el continente. Entonces, es una de mis pasiones el promover cultura, el sembrar el amor en los niños por el folclore, por la tradición, porque se sientan orgullosos de sus raíces, apreciar las raíces de los demás. Estamos en Los Ángeles, que es multicultural, que cruzas la calle y ves alguien hablando en filipino, alguien hablando en Corea, en coreano.
I'm going to switch a little bit into English as well. So
Beautiful city, multicultural city that we can have. And unfortunately, and we need to promote, and I'm going to tell Prida to promote. A beautiful festival, international festival, folk and art culture festival. We don't have that in Los Angeles. We need to create one, so they can feel, the kids can feel the proud and see, that's what Mexico is. Because some of them, whenever I took 10 dancers to Veracruz, and then one would speak Spanish. They said, no, yo no soy mexicana, yo ni hablo español. Pero the parents were. So after they came from Veracruz, they loved it. They were like, maestra, yo soy, and until this day, and I'm sure I'm so glad that our students, they all graduated, because one of the main goals is also to make a great.
Oh, because you also teach.
I teach dance. I teach folk.
Slash.
Yes. But more than anything, to create programs for our community, to create programs. We talked to people who has a nightclub, and I said, what time you open the nightclub? At 8 o'clock. Can we do a play at 2 o'clock? A play here? I said, sure, let's do a play. That's when we did Baño de Damas. So we did a play, and I know my beautiful...
Wait, I also went to see Por la Calle, and that was in a
De la
nightclub.
Calle.
De la Calle.
Yes.
And that was in a nightclub.
That was in a nightclub.
I remember, you're right.
We did it in
What a
nightclub.
good idea, like everybody...
Yeah, I can see people, they come, when we did Baño de Damas, a gentleman came with a bunch of unos, dollar, and he said, I'm here to spend money. I said, pásale. And after he came out, he was like, ¿Qué vi, oiga?
But I saw it on a theater. I didn't see it in a restaurant. I wish I did.
Yes.
I saw that version.
Yeah, and I'm thankful, that I work with different, even in a small parking lot, we bring theater to the community.
You'll find the right place.
We were the ones who started doing the Dia de Muertos 34 years ago in Huntington Park, celebrating Cinco de Mayo. Yes, celebrating, and to bring this to the communities and see they have embraced, the culture and feel so proud. After Coco, a lot of parents, they didn't want to do Dia de Muertos, and after Coco, they say, oh my God, teacher, when we're going to do Dia de Muertos again? So, so they understand more our culture, and I think that's one of the movies that in the time when someone said that Mexico just bring, criminals and stuff, that was a white slap, we said, una cachetada de guante blanco, decirle, this is Mexico, this is our culture, and even Latinos, they are not from Mexico, even Anglos, they're not from Mexico, they start building their altars, and they start doing and respecting our tradition.
Halloween suddenly is all of the Day of the Dead, and the Catrina, and of course, totally.
So definitely, I believe that after the pandemic, Cultura va a salvar a la humanidad.
Yeah.
You know, the culture,
Yeah.
and to
Totally.
know our roots, and to teach our children to honor the ancestors, to honor our roots, and to go back to the simple things, you know.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Mhm.
Bravo for that. Definitely. No, that's fine. That's why you guys are here. And Nathalia, I am so. Do you know what's the name of her studio? Is you want to tell them?
Yeah, Hencker.
Hencker Studio. So her name is Nathalia Hencker. So she makes Hencker because you voice Pocahontas?
That's correct. Yes. And somebody called me that once, and I was like, oh, that's so clever. Why did you call me that? And so I was like, okay, I'm going to use that one day.
Someone actually gave you that idea? They gave you like a...
Yeah, somebody called me
Hencker,
and I was like, oh, that's clever. I'm going to use it one day. And then I'm going to age, well, I already aged myself when I said I have a son that's 30. But anyway, so remember when it was like, what was the first form of social media? Everybody here.
Orchid, MySpace.
Bingo, that's right. So
right,
you
before
and I aged
Facebook.
yourself. Yeah, but for MySpace, I created MySpace and I named it Hencker because it was kind of like shady. You didn't know like you know who was going to follow you or whatever. So then
It was
everything
scary,
became
but
Hencker. Yeah, it was a scary time. So everything became Hencker, and that's the name of my studio.
And how long has it been since you opened this studio?
2012. So 18 years. 11 years.
And it's not... Did you hear that adorable baby? She's saying something. Really? You want to ask her a question? You want to ask her a question, Melody? No? Yeah. But you started in your house and then you have it separately, or how is that?
Oh yes, so I started at home, and the idea was, well, I've been directing for a really long time, but then I had the opportunity here and at home to create a space for my son to just do his music with his friends, and he's a musician. Yeah, he's a musician, and he a producer too, and hip hop is his area, obviously. So I did it with really the intention of him having space for his music, and I kid you not, like I was like putting the last nail on the wall, and I had a client from Mexico calling me to see if I could do a dubbing into English for a project, and I was like, yes, I can do it. And I was like, hey, do you guys want to do this? I didn't even direct it. I brought a director friend, and they did that.
And then you voiced it?
No, I was
they
just
hire you to
just use the space. And ever since, like, I haven't stopped. It turned into this thing that I had at home for 10 years. And
yeah, that's fantastic.
Just last year we moved into a commercial space, and now we're opening the second space. So it's going to be Studio A and B.
Right?
Oh, what? I'm so scared.
Right after the pandemic. That's fantastic.
We didn't stop during the pandemic because
that was their busier time, like for all of us.
That's
who I do my voiceovers in my walk-in closet. I call it the closed studio, and I've been doing it for 17, 18 years, so it was great. It was fantastic. So if an actor, because I'm sure we have actors here, not only watching but also here present, if they wanna work for you or audition for you, like maybe be audition for your plays or audition for your projects or for performance capture or even voice, is there a way they can do it, or you do it through an agency, or you recommend that they follow you on social media, or how can they come close to you?
In my particular case, I'm always open to having people send their demos. You know, they can follow me on henkerstudio.com, and then when I encourage people to send me samples, even if they don't have a demo, because that way I can have a register of their voice. And when I'm doing casting for whatever project, I'm like, oh, she or he sounds perfect for this. That's basically the way to do it for me, you know.
And you take union or non-union or everything?
Both. And it depends on what the client asks. We just, working union is something that I would love to do more, but it's not that easy. Really, it's a lot of paperwork and stuff like that, but I'm so just big lover of SAG-AFTRA, and I love to do that.
It's not
but
easy to become a member. I mean, I love it.
And
member.
Yeah, absolutely, through and through. But it all comes from the client, and it's what they request. So at the moment, it's more non-union than
But
union.
it's great because we have a lot of friends who are not union.
Exactly.
And they need that opportunity, and they are amazingly talented as well.
Absolutely.
And I mean, you can find opportunities also in the non-union community because you can do also answer the answering machine, the prompter, or the e-learning. There's so many opportunities.
So many things to do, and it's like I started the first 10 years pretty much was everything Spanish, nothing but Spanish, and the past 2 years I would say everything turned all of a sudden into English, and I haven't done anything in Spanish. And I meet people that send me all kinds of stuff because everybody wants to do voiceover, right? And I'm like, Italian, okay, well, send me your demo, you never know. And then this year, we did The Life of Miguel Bosé, who's a very famous actor and singer, and he speaks Italian and French, and everybody that had sent me their demos got to work. I mean, a lot of people got to work in Italian and French and English, so you never know. And then like mostly they look for people that have no accent, so I'm sad because I love to work with my Latin friends and Latin actors, but just yesterday a director that's going to come to work with us next week said, I need somebody with a heavy accent, and I'm like, dude, send me your demo right now, because of course I want to include people that have an accent, but
that I love.
You never know.
Netflix is doing right now. Last year I started also doing there are all these Mexican shows. They are translating into English. Like before, we used to dub that from English to Spanish, and now it's from Spanish to English, and they don't mind about the accent because they want it to be like, and it's just been fantastic. Like, sure, bring them on more.
Yeah, you never know. Like my clients at this moment, they're looking for people with no accent, but you never know. Like there's always like a new client that comes in and says, I do want people with an accent. So it's just putting your foot in the door and just showing up, because you never know when the opportunity is going to be there, right?
So, henkerhunters.com, would that be the
Studio.com? Yes.
That's where they can find you.
And Instagram, same thing, Hencker Hunters Studio.
Hencker Hunters.
Yes.
And
I know, it's a crazy name.
Before I move to the next person, what are you up to right now?
I'm up to no good.
I'm just, if you can be good at it.
That's right.
Pórtense mal, pero cuídense bien.
That's right. Just, like always creating, like, this opportunity came along of opening a second studio, and it's like I'm really opening my mouth about it because I believe in holding the information so that the steam doesn't go off beforehand.
I mean,
yeah, but right now we're in the process of building, so which is, it's solid, it's happening. And
so you're not gonna rent; it's gonna be your.
No, I am. I'm renting a second space. So, but right now I'm not at home.
Setting it up, like
I'm not at home anymore. It's commercial space, and it's in Burbank, and it's a really good location, and we're really happy. And lots of we've been doing mostly English series. So now for Paramount Plus. So that's kind of like what's been happening since last year. So that's really good.
Yeah. Right on. Cool. Thank you so much. So people can follow you there. Can they follow Nathalia, or you prefer?
No. For
as an actor,
Nathalia Hencker. But yeah, on Instagram I'm Hencker Hunters, and then my studio is Hencker Hunters Studio. So both are easy to find because they're both using the same name. Hencker Hunters and Hencker Hunters Studio.
There you go. Take notes, everyone.
That's
even
right.
If you don't have like too much to show, or you don't have a real demo. If you're a good reader, maybe you never know. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Want to add something else that you want to share to the public?
Say again?
You want to share anything else to the public?
We were just at VO Atlanta, which is a really good, wonderful way to do networking and find producers and get a lot of insight on the industry. And I went with wonderful Carola Parmigiano, who's another great actor, video game actor, like I am too. And I'm like, dude, I just really want to put it out there that we're looking for people, like, you know, because the pool of talent has to get bigger. And she's like, let's do this. She put a sign, she put a bowl, and she put something that said, drop your cards here if you want to do ADR and voiceover. And we were like slammed with so many cards, and people were writing their information on sticky notes. And so we're just building this roster of people that are doing voiceover, not necessarily in LA only, because if you have a studio at home and if you have Source Connect, then we can connect with you via Session Link Pro and feed you the video. And Danny, who's a wonderful engineer right there, who doesn't want to look at me, but there, boom, boom. Oh, because he's looking at the camera, I see. So, you know, he feeds the video, and then we're recording live people from their home studios, and then syncing it in Bourbon. And putting you on the air, and all of you, so you can send her. Yeah. We are connecting, for sure.
And I'm going to send you mine too.
Oh, for sure, please, do that.
Didn't think about that, but great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Carola actually, she just mentioned her. I mean, we have more actors, which is great. But Carola, she's from Brazil, and I really like her work. So, and she does voiceover in English, Brazil, and Portuguese, and Spanish. She manages very well.
Muy talentosa.
Blanquita linda, ¿en qué andas ahorita? What are you up to, and where can people find you?
Pues, after the pandemic, I have to close the dance studio. So after 20 some years of having my dance company, now what I do workshops, you know, for different studios, or whenever they want a performance, I hire and I get other, because, you know, we know a lot of dance groups from. If you need a dance company, if you need from any country, you can contact me. I can connect you. I love to connect people in that way. And also, I started teaching at the Acting Village studio last year.
Yeah, I have shared on Exercise.
Because it's in Spanish, our class. And I think it's really
full
good.
House.
Yeah, thank God.
Every time I'm like, wow, here are our students from last night.
Here's
like,
one of my students. She just did a film last year. She started acting at 70, and she's 78, and she got a film, and she is amazing. Is going to different cities and festivals.
And last time when I
¿Ya tienes 80?
I had 80.
Oh, okay, ya tienes.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, whenever you need an actress, she's amazing, very natural actress.
And I love that because in March when I had the woman who inspired in the panel, you also came with some of your students here. That was very nice.
They came, the students, yeah. And then, you know, that's one of the things that I think a lot of times we missed a lot in the translation. So I help them to do and to find the right way to do the auditions, especially the auditions, because if you don't know where your eye line is, if you don't know how to light yourself, you know, now it's a lot of times the self-tapes are very challenging for our you know, actors.
Sometimes we think we know how to do it, and then they keep doing auditions vertically.
Exactly.
No. Has to be all those little things that you don't know, but someone can teach you and help you.
Correct.
We're gonna wrap it up soon. So Jorge, if you can help us with a poster that we have somewhere else, so we can have some pictures. But where can they find you?
Well, nomás para decirles rapidito, I also got booked for my first time. I'm 58, and it's going to be my first professional musical. So you have to come to Solbach in Santa Maria. I'm working for the American Mariachi. I got booked that one. And also,
please tag Actors Slash.
Yes, I was very happy. I'm learning how to play violin because I'm going to play in that musical. And I also got a feature film with an amazing actor. I just booked it last Friday. I was very happy with that. And, you know, just keep on doing the movimiento cultural, you know. So promoting everywhere. If you're doing any festivity, if you need dancers, if you need musicians, you need singers,
you need actors, you need painters. It's
She's your
almost
woman.
30 years
She has
that
a
we promote
huge
culture.
database.
Yes,
Yeah.
database, yes. And definitely we don't charge anything. That's Tierra Blanca Art Center. That's our
Really? You
nonprofit.
just do it for
We
the...
always help and to connect people.
That's amazing. I didn't know it. So you guys don't get paid?
No,
How
pues para
do-
conectar, no.
Okay,
If you
okay.
hire me as an MC, or if you hire me to coordinate your event, I have coordinated, when you saw that night on Broadway, one of the council members hired me to run the whole $1 million.
The whole program.
Correct, and I did the whole programming for them, and I've done that for many events. You know,
Okay, but for
mariachi
communities
plazas,
and things
everything.
like that, you will just show up
Yes,
with your
for sure.
love and heart and your
Yes,
talent.
yes.
Wow.
Help people, yes.
Very
So,
nice.
ahí estamos, Tierra Blanca Art Center, Blanca
.com.
Araceli,
Tierra
.org.
Blanca
.org.
artcenter.org.
O-R-G.
O-R-G.
Yes.
And then Blanca Araceli.
Blanca Araceli Oficial in Facebook and Instagram, and also you can find me just as Blanca Araceli. Google it and ahí sale todo.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Blanquita Linda. Sandy, how about you? How can people get to you? It's 3 questions. How can people get to you to audition? And what are you up to?
What I'm up to, I'm flying to the UK tomorrow night. We're
Oh my God, thank you so much for accepting coming today. Imagine if it was one day before you buy your ticket.
So I'm flying to the UK tonight. That's where we do most of our performance capture. We do some in Los Angeles. I'm pretty sure we go through an agency. On our big single player campaign, we're not quite there yet in terms of once the game is at the gold standard, which is, you're getting close to launching, we do localization. So I think, yeah, exactly. Spanish, German, French, I'm not sure what other languages we're doing, but I would guess that we're doing that in between Los Angeles and the United Kingdom. I don't really do a lot of social media. I just don't have time.
Yeah, I imagine.
But I mean, you can.
But can people follow your company? Are you guys on social media?
I guess if you're a video gamer, absolutely. I don't quite know how we do our performance capture. I mean, because there's varying levels of it, right? We have people like Gary Oldman in our video game, so that's obviously a different level of casting, and then but there's all kinds of roles and things to close out. I'm not sure where we're at that, but that's why I'm going to the UK tomorrow. So yeah, I'm under Sandy Roberts 42, I think, on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. And even TikTok, maybe. I don't check those things very often.
But since you're there, you're up to, I mean, what are you up to? You're flying because of the company, but as an actor, LV, your short film.
Oh, Evie, yes.
Evie.
In terms of being an actor,
It's been everywhere in festivals, right?
It did, yeah. It won a lot of awards. I think what was great about that was that I would recommend doing the whole experience. It's quite difficult in terms of the acting, the directing, the producing, the whole 9 yards. I wrote it and I was in it. My daughter was in it. But I think it's nice to have that experience, because then as the actress, it gives a different perspective on what everybody else is kind of, I don't know how to
Did you
describe.
direct it as well?
I did direct it, and I would probably not do all of the things I did again.
It was great that you did it just as you said, so
Yes, it was too many hats to do at once. I didn't have a problem being watching myself on a playback. In terms of, sometimes my daughter doesn't like to really see herself in a playback, but really having the eye of the director, and then switching it around to do the take, and then switching it around. I think it was really important to have a great DP who's on the same wavelength, so that you're shortcutting and you have efficiency of the shots, and whether you got the shot, because I found after I'd done the take, especially if it's an emotional scene, I'm thinking, oh gosh, did I get it? Did I not get it? I don't know if I got it. right? So it's good to have that extra set of eyes. My husband was there for one of the days. I'm not sure how helpful that was because he's also a director.
How long is
Yeah.
How long is the short film?
The short film's 12 minutes.
12 minutes.
So.
And how many days?
It was a 3-day shoot. Yeah. And I did it fully SAG, and I paid all the actors up front. I just didn't want to do any deferred pay or anything because it's just so annoying as an actress. You get deferred pay and you really don't get paid much anyway for the day.
Yeah. Right.
So I wanted to get everyone paid. I paid some people more than scale, just for the fun of it. I paid everybody nicely.
That's
just because
great.
I wanted it to be that I think it just changes the energy on the set when everybody.
And because you could, because also sometimes you can't. Right.
Yes,
Yeah,
I totally understand that. I understand that I'm coming from a place of good fortune, so I'm totally grateful for that. But I'd like to give it back in that way.
Yeah, that is so cool.
The video game pilot that I have, I do want to shoot that. And it's just a debate of whether I would shoot it in America or shoot it. The humour is a little more, because I'm Australian, the humour is a little more British, I would say. It's a sort of like
British?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if I'll shoot it in England or I'll shoot it in America. But I'll probably, maybe I'll hire Shannon. There you go. See?
Yeah.
Perfect.
You know it. You have it right here.
Perfect. Here we go.
Exactly.
That's the husband from the
Now
same
you have a
place
husband
that
from
I'm
the same.
from. So
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, I wish you well and great on your short film, and hopefully we can see them here. We can see them, and then we will have a conversation about that because I have a lot of questions of your short film, Evie. Like, I'm sure she's her daughter, and I'm sure I was kind of like guessing a lot of things.
Yeah, it's actually I really enjoy working with family. I get a lot of joy out of that. I know a lot of people
prefer not to, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my husband and I, we definitely fight when on creative stuff, but it's very productive. Yeah, he is. Your husband's nodding, exactly. But that's how you
For
get.
those who are not saying the husband is babysitting. Yeah, no. But Shannon husband, and I'm sure your husband at home with the girls.
Yeah. I mean, it actually we push each other because we can shortcut the relationship. So we don't. I know him, he knows me. So we know what buttons not to press. Mm-hmm. But on the creative front, it really shortcuts, and you can get right to the creativity. Mm-hmm. And when you have the fight, I know what he's good at, so sometimes he'll take the lead, and then sometimes he's like, oh, actually that's a really good idea. And we can really raise the standard of what we're doing. I really enjoy that. And then finding it with my daughter too, it's great to do emotional scenes with your family. If you can handle it. If you can handle it as an actress.
I was going to say, was she good following directions from you? Did she get it?
That was a really interesting dynamic, because
it's mom who's telling.
Yeah, but it was a really good. It's actually helped me be a better mom.
Oh, that's very nice.
Because I learned a level of patience. Because you're in public, right? There's people around. So I learned a level of patience and how to talk to her in a way that I probably would never have discovered if it's just at home, because it just goes to places that it escalates very quickly. Especially she's 12. She's a teenager.
Oh my God! So, now she's into questioning everything and contesting everything, I'm sure.
So
yeah. That's great. Well, you know, guys, where to look up for her company. She's not into social media. Sorry, you're just gonna have to do whatever we post from her. How about you, Shannon? You have like the Shannon actors, the Shannon Bobo casting.
Yes,
Shannon.
well, I just have one website and it has tabs. So it's shannonbobo.com, and then you can go there for everything, like the casting, the comedy, stand-up comedy. And What was the other questions? I forgot what the...
What are you up to?
What are we up to now? We're in negotiations for a couple of projects right now, and I'm very excited about them. And it was so funny because there's one role that Blanca can be in, and she's like, I'm trying to get it to flip to SAG-AFTRA, because she would probably be really good for one of the roles. But I'm just waiting to see everything about that. And tomorrow, one of the films that I cast, a short film called Black Belts, and it's through Disney Launchpad series, is going to be at the Asian, I'm not going to get their film festival correct. I'll comment about it later if I'm embarrassed that I can't remember the name of the film festival, but it's going to be up tomorrow at 2:30. Yes, so I should have had a little bit more information about that. I'm sorry.
Don't worry, don't worry.
But it's very excited about that. I haven't seen it yet, and unfortunately, it's Mother's Day weekend, so I already had all these birthday parties. Why 2-year-old? My baby's 18 months, and she's invited to all these little birthday parties already. I'm like, ugh. So it's like that's another thing that you have to figure out life with. I'm like, oh my God, I got my life, my business life, my husband, and when you're a slasher, you're up to a lot all the time. I was just asked to do a stand-up comedy workshop, and so I'm very excited about that, like just helping people write the jokes and then punch it up. I really do believe that that's the way people find their voice, and that's part of the reason why every single thing that I do always goes back to people finding their voice, including something that we talked about earlier. I'm a part of an organization. I've been an ambassador for this group for double-digit years now. It's called PAVE, Promoting Awareness Victim Empowerment. And two Sundays ago, we did a live performance to raise money to teach children about, in schools, to teach them about consent. And so we raised, the goal was $50K, but we raised $25K, which is great. Amazing. And I landed my voice, stand-up comedy, in order to do so. And so that's something that I'm very proud of. It's definitely for everyone to be able to find their voice through trauma and be able to speak themselves, speak their truth. And so I've been able to heal through humor. So
now, I'm glad you're saying this.
Yes.
You're able to heal from humor. Mm-hmm. Heal from what? I know, I saw it. You wanna?
Well, the reason why I'm a survivor of sexual abuse, and the organization PAVE, which I'm an ambassador for, is Promoting Awareness Victim Empowerment. So, and again, like this, some of them are probably watching this now, but the event was very heavy because it's like a lot of people just talking about what they've been through, and it was very hurtful. Then I got on stage and just, I just made it all. They were like, wait, I'm not supposed to laugh at that. I'm like, yes, we can. You get your power back. You get your power back by having your voice. That's what each and every single woman on this panel is about. Being a mother, having our voice, be able to have our voice heard, being able to tell stories, being able to like capture entertainment, just capture everybody's imaginations. There's so much wealth on this stage, and I'm just so grateful, so impressed, and so humbled to be a part of this group. So thank you again for having me. I'm just super humbled. So thank you. And yes.
Thank you, Anna, for introducing me to her. It was a great option. And okay, so if they want to contact you, any actor, to send their information, just like with Nathalia, they just go to. I'm sorry.
I would say that because I do post on social media, and it's probably best to follow at Shannon Bobo Casting, because then I would definitely post any breakdown. I share a lot of breakdowns. I mean, I've worked in casting for so long.
And Instagram.
Instagram is best. Instagram is best. And I have a page on Facebook for casting. But I mean, I look at everybody. Again, I know myself, and I'm very proud to be an actor's casting director. I love for people to know that they can contact me to ask questions or anything. And, you know, like that's, after this, we're actually, they're so sweet, they're buying me better. They didn't have to do this. But we're going to meet somebody whose cousin is interested in acting. And I was like, sure, we'll talk. And it's like, we buy you dinner? I'm like, okay, I'll feed my family on this. So I'm just, you know, I love being able to be helpful in that way. My whole intention is for everyone to be able to have their voice and to help serve people by making them laugh and healing through laughter and joy.
I love it. I love it. And I am not a mother. I'm a mamacita. That's right. But no, I don't have kids. but I have tons of siblings. We're 10. And so I have a lot of nephews and nieces and my best friends as well. So their kids are like I just love them and adore them. And that's the closest I have as my kids. I really, really love it. And I have written so many things about them. So thank you so much. Each and one of you have been so inspirational, and I'm so honored to have you here. I love that you are here. Seriously, it's amazing. I think Cynthia, was it not amazing? Like every time we finish one, Cynthia and I were like, wow, this is the best yet. Like every time it's better and better. Sometimes it's packed, sometimes it's not, but it's just so great. We're gonna have the repetitions on social media anyway. So I really, really thank you, the four of you, for being here. Thank you, you guys, for coming. Thank you for those who are watching. Consulado de Mexico, thank you. Consul Cynthia Prida, thank you so much. My name is Vange Tapia. Again, you can follow me on all my social media and my website, vangetapia.com. You can follow actors/.com, all social media, same actors/. Just make sure actors is plural, so it's 2 S in the middle, actors/. It's not actor because it's not only one, it has to be plural because together we create more things than as a single. And a big round of applause to all of you. Thank you. Let's have a picture. And we have a poster somewhere. You want to say something?
I want to say something.
Yes, Carla, please. We didn't go for Q&A. I'm so sorry because
that's what I was waiting for.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? Hold on, guys. Hold on. Questions.
First of all, thank you so much for sharing each of your stories. It's very hard for me. I don't have kids yet, but it comes that question, should I have kids and continue my acting career? Is that possible? Is that not possible? Who should I ask? Who should I not ask? And to hear every single story, it's like, motherfucker, sorry my French, it is possible. So thank you so much for sharing. This is really inspiring, and every one of you is just different from every single story, so it really inspires us of this is possible. I can also have a family and also do my career. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, that wasn't a question.
Thank you. Does anybody else have a question? I really didn't go to Q&As this time because I know Shannon has to leave. But do you guys have a question or any comment that you would like to share with us? You see, you answered everything. You answered everything. Maybe the people in the last row or the last. You, the lady in white.
I just want to say thank you guys for doing this. I'm so inspired today. Like, this was amazing and meant to be. I don't know how I ended up here. Like, I live right down the street. I didn't know you guys did stuff like this. I left work early today for an audition, and I would have never made it here. I would have been here like 2 hours later. Like, it was just divine intervention.
I'm so happy you came.
It's been like 15 years I gave up on acting. I just started again, and I feel like you guys are like,
good for you. Let's see.
And I'm just gonna, I don't know, follow all you guys and learn everything.
Yeah. Remember, Actors/, it's a community. It's a community. It's a collective. It's a niche. We all say, like, when we arrived, we didn't know anyone. We didn't have anyone. You don't have to go through that. I created it because I also went through that. And you know what? Now you have the tools. So find your niche. Find your tribe. Find a baby like that adorable one. And yeah, sure. Shannon, sit with us. That's okay. We will see her back. And just find your community, find your friends and your group of friends. And this is the idea, to empower one another. I'm a voiceover talent. I'm an actor. I'm a producer. ///. I don't see any competition in anyone. In the contrary, we're empowering one another. There's opportunities for everyone, and let's just help each other. That's the idea. And also, if you need something beyond that, the Mexican Consulate. If you're Colombian, there's a Colombian consulate, I'm sure. I think the Australian one is in
Constellation, I think, yeah.
the consul, yeah. So everybody has a place where we can go and approach that not always we know, but like social media is a great place to follow. And if you don't know, there's a great exhibition outside that you can go in. Every time you come to the show, you have a bonus. They have exhibits outside right now. So thank you so much again. And we're going to have pictures. Jorge, can we borrow that poster? Thank you so much again. Yes, yes.
Yo lo voy a decir en español.
Okay.
Que yo las felicito de veras, que sí motivan a las personas. Y estas pláticas estarían muy bien en las escuelas, donde están las niñas, los niños, que no saben todavía qué hacer. Este es un ejemplo de que se puede. Son mujeres emprendedoras, muy trabajadoras, y yo estoy muy orgullosa de haber venido aquí para conocerlas. Me da mucho gusto conocerlas y es un placer.
Muchas gracias. She's just saying that we should be doing this at schools with kids and teach this to children. That will be fantastic. So if anyone wants, any school who's watching, the consulate does a lot of events. We did one in the pandemic, shut it off, but we brought through the Cynthia, Prida, our Consul of Cultural Affairs, a bunch of students from different schools or from school nearby, and every day and every week we brought directors, actors, and they were having classes from different things about cinema and performing.
Yo tengo dos nietas que no quieren estudiar, no quieren hacer nada, pero comencé, como yo estoy estudiando, voy a mis clases de teatro, me dijo un día la niña, ¿qué van a hacer ahora, abuelita? Le dije, pues vamos a ir a jugar. ¿Podemos ir? ¿Sí? Y ya se quedaron en el teatro y están estudiando teatro, pero porque nos ven a nosotros los viejitos que estamos actuando, y ellas están actuando, es un buen ejemplo. Entonces, por eso,
with example,
sí,
right.
Por eso yo digo, si ustedes pueden compartir sus experiencias con jóvenes, con niños, que a veces agarran drogas y no saben qué hacer, no saben qué hacer. Entonces, eso es muy importante, que ustedes que están jóvenes y que todavía tienen fuerzas y tienen ganas de luchar, enseñen, compartan su sabiduría de ustedes, sus experiencias, compartan lo que ustedes saben y ayuden a otros para que puedan seguir un camino bueno.
Muchísimas gracias. Gracias por la recomendación. Yeah, there's a lot of organizations who do that, creating creators, consulate and all that. And yes, if anyone wants Actors Lash to come to your school, please let us know. Again, thank you so much. Now we're going to have picture time.